Welcome to our reality, everyone. I don't know why you're here, but I am glad you are because we have yet another week of Big Brother 26 to go over. We have escaped Janky World, but not without any victims in our wake. One being T-Core, who was evicted on Thursday night by a vote of 4-1, and Janky himself, who did not make it out of Janky World, and he will be dearly missed, as we saw in a approximately 1 minute long in memoriam segment on Sunday's episode last night. And going forward, we have a lot of stuff to discuss because we ended a Leah HOH reign that I feel like, and I'm sure many other people feel like, and we already discussed last week, a failed HOH to a certain extent. And now we've seen Mackenzie as the current HOH somehow double the ineffectiveness of being an HOH and having what is pretty unanimously, as I'm seeing, the worst HOH of the season, maybe in some time. Who's to say? There's been a lot of bad HOHs this season already, so I feel like part of it is the victim of this week, who will probably be heading out the door Thursday night, that is kind of inspiring that storyline. But at the same time, I can't wait to get into this because we had a lot of weird moments in this past week, just being outside for the rest of it, and also leading up to the double eviction. So much to go over, especially when it comes to the end game in Big Brother 26. And welcome, if you're joining us for the very first time, we are live here on YouTube. If you want to catch us not live in the future, we also are on Apple Podcasts, on Spotify, all that fun stuff. If you want to like this video, subscribe to the channel. That would help us out a ton. My name is Barrett, everyone, and joining me, as always, is my esteemed Big Brother colleagues, the Nick City and the Zach Perez, here to talk about Big Brother 26 once again. And wow, just going to I see Jen in chat because Roxy is, I need to acknowledge the lovely Roxy Hotman is not here for the second week in a row. Take it up with her. That's all I can say. No, Roxy will be back. I promise. And we do miss you, Roxy. But Nick, I'm going to go to you first. We saw T-Core go out of the house. Her first time on the block the entire season, getting evicted, heading to the jury house with one Quinn. And I would like to know, what are your thoughts ending the week last week outside Janky World, pizza, ice cream, we're cha-cha-chaing, we're dance partying, and we see T-Core go out. Someone that we were all pretty high on early on in the season especially. So what does it say about this season, T-Core going out in Janky World, splitting up this trio, and how did Leah really use her power last week, would you say?
Okay, so I personally think she went about it the right way.
You did say that.
I that was what I was sticking with last week. I really thought that she should target that trio. But now it's not looking like that was the right thing. I don't know. But regardless, I think that T-Core leaving kind of opened the game a little tiny bit more, because now I feel like the only other person that's really doing a lot is Chelsea. And so I wanted someone like T-Core to leave because it kind of gives everyone else more of a chance to win. But yeah, I don't know. It seems like everyone's just flocking to Chelsea now. Even the people that were with T-Core. There was that one moment where they had this week where they went to her and they were like, "Oh, T-Core said if she leaves to stick with you." And it was to Chelsea. I was like, lovely. So Chelsea just has everybody now. But I don't know. I think Leah went about it the right way. I don't think any of us predicted this happening, really. So
yeah. I just think it's interesting that Leah, Chemo laid it all out. And Zach, I'm sorry, we're gonna get to you. I know you have a lot to say about Leah and Mackenzie, and because we discussed it for 10 minutes prior to me hitting go live. I do think it's interesting that Chemo really did lay it all out for Leah to be like, just so you understand, you can see we're a trio. You see they're a trio. We are really bad at competitions. I mean, we are horrible. They're actually pretty good at competitions. I feel like there's something that we could work out here to where maybe we could go after the people that may win these future competitions, and we can help keep you safe. And I felt like that was a very good pitch. Too little too late in a lot of ways, because it was, post nominations that we're doing all of this. And I do feel like not going after Chelsea, or at least not seeing this or hurt Chelsea and Cam as the prime targets going forward, especially in Leah's case. I get we had this moment in the HOH where she had to keep Cam safe, and she's been working with MJ since the beginning of the game. That's a crazy sentence to say now, here post veto ceremony of this week, but like, it just felt like a missed opportunity. And I know splitting up one of the trios is the ultimate goal, but Leah immediately after that HOH ending saying to Angela, I feel like I made a mistake in not going after Chelsea, should tell you that maybe Leah misstepped in the direction of the wrong trio. And I'm gonna stick with that as my answer. But anyway, we'll expand on this more. Zach, I want to get to you because you've been silent for almost 6 minutes now, and I'm sorry. Also, Jen, we can pick a better way. We can pick a better name for Chelsea. But Zach, do want to come to you now because we ended Janky World. We all felt a little bit jankier in the process because of it. I want to know a pretty similar question that I just asked Nick. How are you feeling post the T-Core eviction and entering this week in MJ's HOH run? You don't have to get too into the weeds with it. Just I want to know your overall feelings right now.
Post Core or T-Core, sorry. I'm trying to remember to say her name correctly.
It's only taken 70 days. Does. You're right. Yeah.
Yeah. Post T-Core being gone, I mean, yeah, that's it. I mean, okay. I really don't have much to say. I mean, she could have had a great game, but she just chose not to do much. She did a few moves, and she won an HOH, but she was too passive. She wasn't actively doing anything. She had such good relationships with people, but she did not know how to use them correctly, or didn't even use them at all to a degree. Like even Chemo, like she was literally smearing bird poop on him. That's how much she cared about her relationship with Chemo.
Yeah.
I'm glad she's gone. I'd rather her. Who was she up against?
Rubina.
Oh, well then, I would have been fine with either of them going. It just happened to be T-Core. And then MJ. Girl, I don't know if the acorn of a brain you have, like, I'm going to say it right here. I'll stand by what me and Nick said last week, because I did not, no one could have predicted that this was going to happen, because it's so dumb.
Even 2 days ago, you couldn't have predicted it.
Literally, it's so dumb. You know why this is the worst HOH this season? Because even Quinn, his 2 HOHs, yeah, 2 of his allies did go home, but he did not actively want them to go. This was literally the house's decision. The reason why this is the worst HOH of the season, possibly the worst HOH in the past 10 seasons, is because MJ was literally actively wanting to do this. If she makes it to the final 2, this move will be the reason why she loses everyone else's vote. You know why? She has already knocked out Leah to voting for her to win because of the blind side that happened. She didn't tell her. She didn't do anything. She just wanted to do a blind side because why not? That's a good move to do in pre-jury whenever you're not managing a jury. And then not only should she blindside Leah, she also blindsided Angela. So she's already lost 2 jury votes because Angela, she's gonna be bitter as hell that this happened to her. Literally the worst case scenario, the only person that she did not want to go up against happened. Not only that, Quinn is gonna be voting wherever Leah goes. Put my word on it. So Mackenzie has already lost 3 jury votes. Bad move. Bad week.
Yeah. Well, Zach said the headline there. So just to give a quick recap, we have Mackenzie as the HOH after T-Core's eviction, as we saw last night. And we also saw last night that she nominated Angela in Chemo for eviction. At the veto competition, Mackenzie also came out victorious in that. So she swept the week. And as we saw, if you watched last night's episode, Chelsea has been planting these seeds for Leah to potentially be an upcoming target, and she's been planting hard. She got Cam in on the mix as well, which it was really impressive. I think that Chelsea is clearly the best strategist in this game, and I don't think she really had to lift a finger to prove that. And I thought it was the most impressive thing was her coming full circle with her HOH reigns and her having that moment where she took in the info. Because we've been talking about Chelsea's HOH reigns as the more calm HOHs of the summer in a summer of very chaotic HOH reigns. And so to see her last night in the edit finally have that moment where she used we had those flashback clips of her saying, Leah's in this final two, Leah's in this final two, Leah said this to me. That means she has been doing this for nearly a month. Of really collecting these things that Leah has told her, knowing that she could full on use it against her. That's the impressive thing, is that she actually used info and held on to it in a season where I feel like people take info and immediately have ran with it. And it made me think in the moment, like, God, if Chelsea does not win this season, it's gonna feel pretty bad. Because I know who she's up against right now, and it's a bunch of people who have not been playing this game in the slightest. When you have Chemo of all people saying like, we're not a threat. That's troubling, because that's like last week, that's 3 people in the house that are saying collectively that they are not a threat, and being completely accurate with it. Like, it's not just a disguise, and that's nearly half the house. And so it's, yeah, at this point, it's like, if Chelsea don't win, I don't know. But it was impressive to watch Chelsea do this. It was even more miraculous that MJ fell for it, and not once questioned Chelsea potentially manipulating her in the process. After observing how long of Chelsea being jealous of her and Cam's relationship, like, if you maybe think that Chelsea doesn't have your best interest in the entire world at a certain point. But yeah, Nick, since we've got it all out there, we can just have our main headline be right now what is happening post veto ceremony, because I know that's what everyone really wants to talk about. Before I do that though, Nick, I do want to go back to the chat real quick. We have Leah going after the wrong trio by Big Sissy Banana. Welcome, Big Sissy Banana. Can I call you Big Sissy? Thank you for coming to the chat. Terrell says T-Core's biggest move was probably eliminating Cedric Tucker, who wouldn't have targeted her, which is, yeah, we are in a season where everyone loves to put up their allies on the block, whether it is, Quinn putting up Cedric, whether it's Quinn putting up Joseph. Now we have Mackenzie putting up Leah. We've seen many times already this season where whoever we put up is going to go home eventually, if they are your ally and they happen to be on the block. Also, just like, don't put your ally on the block, I feel like is what I should just say first. Don't put one of your allies on the block.
But they're the pawn, Barrett.
Yeah, sure.
I'm telling the house that you're the pawn.
You
so
as the HOH don't
listen.
control who is the pawn or not, which I feel like is a huge oversight of everybody. You are not voting. You can't just say this person's the pawn. Like, there are many people who decide who is the pawn and who's not the pawn, and you have no idea what they're thinking half the time. Okay, but Nick, I want to know your thoughts. As it says in your subtitle, Mackenzie stands sadly. How are you taking this complete shift, even from last night's episode? I keep going back to last night, but like, all of this played out perfectly in last night. Mackenzie saying, I do not want to put up Leah because I know I would lose her jury vote. And what do we see her do last night? She says, I think I'm going to put Leah on the block. She said to Chemo, I think I'm going to use the veto on you. And what was Chemo's response? Is that good for your game, though? Even the guy that you're using the veto on is telling you that this is a stupid move. And Chemo should know better, first off. I mean, he should. I never had confidence that he did know better than this, because Chemo's been on the block 5 times now. I thought maybe at some point. But, like, how do you not see, like, maybe I haven't heard any of this from Leah. This is all being told to me through Chelsea. Maybe Leah, like, and also she didn't even want to warn Leah. She really said, I'm going to blindside her too, which was somehow was one of the worst things she could have done. Like, it was one thing to use the veto, but it's another thing to not even tell Leah or give Leah even like an iota of like, or a semblance of warning that she's going to go up on the block. She just did it. Sorry, Nick, I got on a soapbox there. Please tell me your
It's
thoughts.
okay. I'm so used to I literally when it started going into motion, I was getting a lot of texts from people. I'm not even gonna lie. And people were like, what is she doing? And I'm like, I can't answer for her. I'm sorry. Like I will say I have been standing by her side this whole damn season. But Mackenzie girl, you done fucked up. And I will say that loud and proud. She fucked up, okay? And I will own that because you know why? Because I also love Leah. And I feel like Leah doesn't even deserve this. It's like, oh my god, it breaks my heart because I was rooting for the both of them so much. Like Mackenzie was always my number one, and Leah was always my number two. And then it's like now Mackenzie is taking out Leah, which is so dumb because now Mackenzie is probably going to go out literally 40 minutes after Leah gets evicted, and like that is insane to me. Like both of them are going to be out of the house come Thursday, probably, maybe we don't know for sure, but I hate it. I'm so upset. I'm so upset. I
Yeah.
really am. I really am.
I understand. It's infuriating to watch someone make such a bad move, like a historically bad
Oh
move.
god, it was bad.
But at the same time, it is if you're wanting to be entertained by this week, this was a really entertaining outcome. But at the same time, leading up to a double eviction, you want a little bit more, especially a double eviction post jury as we're getting close to the end game. You want a little bit more substance in the game that these house guests are playing. And the fact that even this late, I should also say, Mackenzie played a really good game last week. Like I thought she did really well to set up T-Core going home and made sure that it happened and talk to everyone that she needed to. So to have this week immediately following where she has all of the power in her hands. And I should say again, we've had 2 weeks in a row now where the HOH has all the power pretty much. You could say, I mean, I know Leah only won the janky veto. What an abysmal performance in the janky veto competition, by the way. I mean, Leah, come on. You had 3 chances to hit the bottles that were like 5 inches in front of you. Anyway, whatever.
So apparently they could have practiced too.
Yeah, Jakey's like, I hope you've been playing all week. And like, oh, okay, easy. she didn't hit one. Anyway, that's not important right now. But it goes to show, like, Leah also held all the power because she had Angela right there with her, who had the actual veto. And they still didn't even go after the right people. Maybe Angela. I mean, I know Angela's fine with T-Core going, but I think just I don't know. They messed up there. Mackenzie also messed up here. I don't know what it is about the HOHs this summer. I don't know why they can't do it. I don't know why they can't just pull it off. It's infuriating.
So easy too. That's the thing. It's like literally all she had to do was put up Chemo and Rabina, and then she won the veto. So like she literally just had to do that.
Yeah.
And that was it. And she would be fine for the double. She'd still be sitting pretty. She'd probably even make it to the finale. Now it's like, Mackenzie, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah. And she
I want
puts
to
up
shake her and like I can't. And I'm just like watching it from home and it's so aggravating.
Mm-hmm. No, it is. And I do want to like expand upon this. Also, Roxy has made it to the chat. Hey, Roxy. Glad you're here. Roxy, see everyone. Roxy's on the podcast. We can all
guys. What really happened was Nick decided to nominate Barrett and me for eviction, but then used the veto on me and put up Roxy for. He got inspired by Mackenzie just to make a move, and we voted out Roxy.
It's true.
Or I voted out Roxy. Oh,
you would vote out Roxy. I could see that.
You would.
Roxy's actually trapped in the hollow net with Ainsley currently in the Big Brother house. She's fighting for her life. Everybody, we have to help her.
She's trying not to get She's trying not to get unalived like
Janky.
Like Janky.
Yeah, Janky. Yeah. Our boy Janky.
I'm actually gonna play that real quick, just because I'm getting a little fiery from all this Mackenzie talk. So, and I remember saying before the season, Mackenzie's like questions that she got with Mike Bloom in her preseason interview. It's just like, I think I said the line, "Keep giving us nothing, Mackenzie. You're doing great." And she did give us something this week. Not the thing that we wanted.
Did. People, when she went HOH, everyone was like, this is going to be a boring week. Well, apparently not.
Well, she would have had the like what's it called? The comeback story of all comeback stories, coming from the bottom and working her way all the way up just to fall from grace.
I feel like the part that frustrates me the most, I'm sorry, I know we keep talking about it, but her talking to Cam and being like, I can't put up Leah, like that's such bad jury management, this, that, whatever. And then she like puts her up and doesn't say a damn thing.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh my God, Mackenzie, you know that's not what you're supposed to be doing.
You know,
Why
and we
are
know
you
because
doing
you
that?
said it.
Yes.
You're the one who brought that. Also, I do hate how much they talk about like jury management out loud to other house guests. It drives me insane. It's the same thing when like Janky popped up and they were all going back and forth being like, what does that stand for? Did you say like, it doesn't help anyone when you all study together. Anyway, whatever. That's just another thing that's like drives me insane about the way that they play this game. And also didn't mention the 3 incredible friends in jury comment that Rubina made at one point last week.
Everyone got so annoyed.
Everybody in this game's driving me
Oh,
insane.
also, this will be the first time 2 women are in the final 2 by Chelsea and someone else.
Yeah,
This will be
not
the
true.
first time ever that 2 women are in the final 2.
Yeah, not even. Yeah,
Y'all don't even know what you're talking about. Like,
Brett, get out. Okay, I don't usually kick people out of the chat, but Brett, get out of the chat. I don't need this. Oh, Big Sissy Bananas message made it on. Can I call you Big Sissy? Anyway. Oh yeah, I was gonna play Janky's Death real quick, and then we can get back to it. Just need a little interlude here.
Feel so well. No. What is happening to me? I can't see. Hello? Are you there? Wait. Oh no. No. Someone is trying to leave me. I'm not ready to go.
Those gasps of breath, like his final breaths, is a crazy detail to add. But
Please.
I imagine that's what Quinn was saying whenever he got evicted.
probably, I think Janky and Mackenzie's game were about the same age when they died.
Yeah.
Okay. So that happened last night as well. So okay, let's dive back into Mackenzie here, because later on we're going to talk about like the double eviction in our predictions and the kind of what might lead up to that.
What was the HOH comp again?
The HOH competition was called.
Oh yeah, that's stacking.
Yeah,
it was the Reindeer Games comp.
Did they have similar props in the It was very festive, kind of. So I didn't watch
the
Reindeer Games.
had like snowflakes, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it was snowflakes. It was something like that.
Snowflakes or ornament, Christmas tree ornaments or something.
Yeah. Yeah, let's talk about that HOH comp, because I know we're naturally going to find our way back to literally everything else that is going on in this house. I will say, though, Leah is really upset in the live feeds right now. Obviously, this caught her off guard. She doesn't think that she did anything wrong to Mackenzie, because she didn't. This is solely a move that Chelsea is just stabbing Leah in the back over and over again without Leah even knowing it.
For no reason.
I mean, if you're if you're going to get someone out of this house, it's probably going to need to be Leah if you're Chelsea. Because why should you be scared of Chemo and Rubina? Why should you be scared of Angela?
I'm talking about Mackenzie.
Oh, yes.
Chelsea.
Oh, yeah.
This is a great move for Chelsea. Like, I'm giving Chelsea all of her flowers. She deserves them. Literally Dan Giesling 2.0 level stuff. Like, but then again, I don't know. It may have been easy with Mackenzie, but I digress.
I was about to say, it's not really that hard.
Let's relax.
I had felt more like this was like if because I'm trying to think of a cast full of like not very good game players and then one person who actually is playing the game. No, I felt another stronger
Maybe
game players
16?
on. I was gonna say 16. It reminded me more of like
But
I don't know,
Derek's the best mastermind player ever.
you're not allowed to go on this when Roxy's not here.
Yeah,
and
Roxy's
so I'm gonna go
come
off
in
of
the
this real
chat and
quick.
start going off. So
But it did remind me of just like barely trying for Chelsea, which I mean, Chelsea's been putting in the work. I'm not gonna lie, but like not. You would think if someone's gonna completely flip on someone they've been working with the entire game, that you would need to try a bit harder, as opposed to just like a couple of days and then grabbing Cam and being like, "Will you help me convince her of this?" And also doing it all without her even talking to Leah. Like, she didn't really have to try as hard as we've seen players in the past really put in the work and plant those seeds over the course of weeks, really even. It didn't seem like she had to put in that level of work, and it still worked.
Literally 2 hours.
It might as well have been, yeah. I also left off the fact that T-Core going on Thursday was very much up in the air, even when the feeds went down, like Cam's vote. And then all we really got in Sunday's episode was just like a quick flashback and then be like, so T-Core, right? And then it was like, we're back to the episode. It's like, okay, I guess that was actually easy for everybody involved to vote out T-Core.
Shout out all my dogs at the crib. T-Core.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so let's just go through this week so far because really where we left off was last Monday. We were post veto ceremony. We had yet to see the veto competition play out. We saw Angela win the veto. Good for her. She had that moment where the camera shook as she celebrated. I thought that was really great. And Leah got the janky veto.
Everyone else forgetting that they were playing for another veto, and everyone was just awkwardly standing around.
Yeah,
like yeah, Angela won the veto.
Pretty strange.
Oh wait, we have another veto to win.
That's true, and it would have been pretty useful for a couple of people in the house. Not gonna lie. I thought the Chubby Chaser segment was so unnecessary. And like, have we not established this at this point with Leah? Like, I mean, did they just know they were going to make a Zingbot joke out of it? So they were like, we got to get in one more of these, make sure everybody knows before Zingbot.
I loved it. It means I would have had a chance with her. Although my wallet is not that big, so I digress.
Yeah. Sorry, Zach. Sorry about Zach's wallet. Rest in peace to Zach's wallet in the chat.
My bank account.
Whatever. Okay. We had T-Core saying that not my favorite quote of the week. T-Core said that she had a strong feeling that Leah was going after the trio. This was during the veto episode that she had a strong feeling, which again is after two of them are already on the block. And T-Core said she had a strong feeling that Leah was going after the trio. I was just like, yeah, she is. I think the feeling should be a bit stronger than strong.
Who did she even say was her target to those three?
I honestly can't remember who she actually said was her target. She kept it kind of open-ended at first. Like maybe she could put up someone else in the trio, but I mean, like you put up two of them from one trio. It's not like you're going to convince them of anything. Well, maybe. Who knows? I'm actually confused at what you can convince people of now in this game. T-Core is saying that seeing Angela celebrate her veto win was the most disappointed that she has felt in the entire season. Was really funny to me. At seeing Angela's joy would immediately mean that you were not having a good time in the game, which probably does have some correlation with a lot of people. But also you look back at T-Core and Angela's relationship back to the beginning of the game, and it makes a little bit more sense why she would say that. Leah literally promised Cam safety, and MJ and her have been working this entire game. So that was kind of her reasoning to Chemo and Robina. Sorry, Zach. Forgot I'd made a note of that. And then Leah does really bad at the janky veto. Angela uses the veto on Chemo. Cool. The 9th consecutive veto used. Now up to 10, by the way, everybody. And I have a cool stat from Hamster Watch about this. I want to get y'all's thoughts.
It's cray.
What, has this never been done before?
Well, it's just when you look at the stats for the year. I mean, obviously we're going to look at the stats. I don't have to tell you to look at them. But Hamster Watch tweeted this out. 10 of 10 weeks, the veto has been used. The regular veto, I should say. MJ has the one veto that she won in the Ainsley competition in the beginning of the game. 11 of 12 total vetoes used previously in past seasons where BB Can 11, 10 of 10 vetoes used, BB 14, 10 of 11 regular vetoes used. BB 7 All-Stars, the original All-Stars, had 9 of 11 vetoes used. And I'm going to say I didn't think that this was possible this late in Big Brother's run as a show. And also the fact that Chemo has had it used. Has it been 3 times on Chemo and 3 times on Angela now? Or has it just been twice on Chemo and 3 times on Angela?
I think just twice on Chemo.
Okay, so twice on Chemo, both in the past 2 weeks. And Chemo also took himself off the block in the AI arena. It's just crazy to me that we can have that in this game. I would have never guessed that we would get back to or have a Big Brother season anywhere in the future that had the veto used literally every single week of the game. And have the 10th time be the craziest one of all, weirdly enough. And I feel like half the time it's been unnecessary. Like this week, obviously unnecessary. Last week, Angela using the veto, unnecessary. Tucker using the veto on Angela, unnecessary. It's crazy to me that they just like have in their mind said we need to use this veto at every point.
Chemo's only, or yeah, no, it's only been 2 times. Yeah.
Okay.
Last week and this week.
Wow. Go Chemo. So Chemo's been on the block 5 times at this point, and then Angela's been on the block 6 times, which is also a crazy stat for 2 people that have not really. Well, Angela's won 3 competitions, lest we forget. Chemo has not won any, unless you count the AI arena.
He does.
I guess so. And Rubina would as well. Rubina with her 1 AI arena win.
Comp beasts. It's a good thing Leah went after them.
Yeah. And then Mackenzie's won 3, I believe. She had it depends on if you count her first competition win or not. The whatever the other veto it was called. I can't even remember what that veto was called at this point. The upgrade.
America's veto.
Oh, that's right. America's veto. Okay.
So Mackenzie technically won 6 comps. I just want to say that's a comp beast.
Mackenzie has won 6 comps technically.
Yes.
If you're counting her upgrade
AI.
and her AI arena comps.
Yes.
How many AI arenas did she win?
2.
2?
I don't remember her winning 2. I couldn't remember 1.
I certainly do because
I remember when the Tucker one.
Yeah,
I can't remember the other one.
It was when it was the Joseph.
It was the ball thing.
That's it. Oh yeah, when Rubina basically nearly won.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. We're
Against
glad we've established that.
Yeah.
Yes,
yeah,
that's
was-
right.
yeah,
Because Cedric
you're
was
right.
like, I was going to
Sorry.
sabotage Mackenzie in the game, but I
Yeah.
got too scared to do it in the moment.
Honest, we already talked about it. Could they have? What would they do if someone did that?
I don't think they'd be able to. Can you go over to someone's veto thing and just fuck it up in the middle of the comp? I don't.
You're gonna go to
think so,
commercial?
like-
I don't know.
right? Like
You can
Stop-
wrestle people
stop
for
and
the you
start over.
can wrestle
like-
people for the OTEV pieces.
Yeah, but that's not like
That's
sabotaging
like the
them.
purpose of the comp, though.
Yeah. That would also that you can't like if you wrestled someone for the OTEV like thing, eventually one of you is gonna have to run up the block or else the round can't end. Whereas
Well,
Rubina
eventually
could have just won and the competition would have been over. Okay. Quickly going through this eviction episode real quick and then we can get back into the craziness. So Julie's back, by the way, everyone. I don't know if anyone cared when she was gone.
I'm back.
She's back and she's COVID free, which I was like, well, yeah. What else was the other option?
And
Like,
I have
I'm back,
COVID.
but I still got it. Everyone's got it now. And we had a great, horrible moment where everyone got to sing the Janky song live. And we cut around to the crowd. We got Julie in on it. We got the house guests in on it before the live vote. And I'll play that again.
Everybody, Jankie, Janky,
Uh, I Nick, you look like you have something to say about this. I'm gonna let you lead.
I want to know if Julie knew what she was walking into. Genuinely, she had COVID. She does
Yeah.
not watch the damn show. Was she like, "What am I doing?" Like, I just want to know how that conversation went. Like, Julie, you're gonna go on the stage and sing this tune with the house guests.
Yeah.
And she was like, I had COVID for 5 days. What the fuck did I miss?
Yeah, it
Like-
would be very confusing for her to come back into this. Like, this is a different Big Brother than I am used to. Zach, did you sing along when they did this live?
Eh.
So you like got a little bit of it in, like
Yeah, just a little bit. I
just like
mean,
tapped your foot a little bit to it, or
It's
Okay.
it's my ringtone now.
Oh, I didn't know people still had ringtones. That's really cool, man. I'm glad to hear. This is one of those things that, like, I know we love the meme of Big Brother is a complex game of social strategy and all this, and then we have it combined with a clip of just pure ridiculousness. This is one of those things that even if I had told my friends, like, this season's amazing, this season's chaotic, every live eviction is just, you're on the edge of your seat, and then that was what I showed them,
Yeah.
like, I mean, you just lose viewers, man. But also, like, pretty weird. Like, I do enjoy when they're a little bit off this show, and the Sunday episodes have been that in large part. Last night was no exception, with Zingbot and Janky being murdered. But it's just like, you didn't. Nobody made you do it. Imagine, like, they had planned this out probably all week that they were going to do this on the eviction. So it was like, what if this was a really tense eviction and they just did that? Like, up to the, like, it almost was. We didn't really know where the vote was going to go exactly, even though it was just going to be one of the trio going home. But just imagine if we had like T-Core and Chelsea on the block, and it was like this really tense moment in the backyard where everyone's just done with everything. And and then we got a janky song. Also, them cutting to Julie in the middle of it terrified me when I watched it the first time. I didn't expect it, and I honestly don't want to watch it again. So that was the last time I will ever watch that clip.
Good.
Everybody. Cool. Anything else in the janky song?
All the
Jameson's
house
done.
guests.
Yeah,
all
all
the
the
house guests are have PTSD from janky week. So
yeah. Skylar loves janky. Big Sissy, can I call you Big Sissy? Hates the janky song. Troll says janky world has made my sons watch Big Brother. Maybe that was the goal. We gotta get everybody into Big Brother. I'll take that.
do y'all think that janky is gonna be like a reoccurring?
No, I no.
No, I don't
I
think
sure
Well,
hope not.
I'm not like reoccurring, like as in like he's gonna be back like every other week. I mean, as like, is it gonna be back once a season?
I think there could be
No.
like a janky, like we do one of the comps where they're launching a ball into like one of the squares. I feel like there could be a weird janky like Easter egg or something.
Janky is
in
trying
one of
to
those.
reboot himself into our universe. In order to give him power, you have to launch these energy balls into his battery pack. Once all 3 balls are in the pack, Janky will be at full power
Damn.
and
You
give
just
you
made
the
a whole comp
power
up.
of veto.
Where did this come from? I don't. You had that competition on lock in your head.
Wow. Okay. Next comp leaked. Like, what was that, Zach?
Yeah. Xandra, I don't want to miss some of these messages that people were having coming in. The veto streak is incredible because a lot of people are saving others. Yeah, we love it. It makes it more interesting. It just changes the dynamic in the same way that the arena has. I'm gonna go ahead and just call it the arena in hopes that as if we say it, it'll be a tagline to enough for Julie to be like, it's a fan favorite. It's the arena. It's back. Because if we don't bring back that AI arena, I swear that is one of the biggest missteps in Big Brother. That has
Watch.
changed this game.
Watch, they're gonna cast like all men that are comp beasts, and then they're just gonna be winning nonstop. And then we're just like, why did we bring this back? We hate this AI comp.
I mean, someone eventually is going to game it, and it's going to make it boring. But until that happens, just keep doing it. In my
Just don't
mind,
see a way where you can game it though.
You do take away your ability to like shit talk house guests leading up to the eviction, and I think that's the biggest benefit because right now, even leading up to Leah going up on the block, we kind of saw that reverting back to what I would call, I hope I can one day call this old Big Brother tactics, but really it's as recently as last season, where they try to make themselves, or they try to give themselves a reason for nominating someone. And after someone says like, oh, well, this person should go on the block because of this, and everyone's like, yeah, but I'll feel bad. They somehow like slowly change their mind by shit talking them repeatedly and like almost validating their sense of putting them on the block. And we're seeing that with Leah this week. And I don't really enjoy that.
Or they just have someone else talking in their ear and puppeteering them into
Exactly.
making a move for someone else.
Yeah. And they did it with Quinn too. When they had the time to do it, of just like, yeah, and also I remember when Quinn did this, and yeah, Quinn sucks, and like it gives them more time to do that, and it's just not fun because it's just them making personal jabs about someone that's not in the room, and that's stupid to watch. And and this cast is better than that. They've proven that for many weeks now.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but besides obviously live double or triple evictions, has Big Brother ever had a live veto comp besides Marcellus on the live eviction day? Not a live veto comp, a live veto ceremony with the eviction.
Yeah. They typically do that with like final 5 scenarios. You think BB14, Dan evicted Shane on a live veto ceremony. One of the best moments in the entire show history. They've had plenty of moments where it's like a final 5, final 4, and they save the veto ceremony to be live before they do like the final 4 HOH.
I wonder why they don't do it for like this, like say for this week, for instance, or like, you know.
Why would they do it this week?
I don't know.
I guess just because leading up to a double eviction, they don't have time.
They can do it this week because of. Oh, imagine doing a veto. Oh, that would be crazy.
It would be crazy, Zach. They don't have time though. They literally have.
What do you think this is?
We're literally about to have a 90-minute episode tomorrow or Wednesday.
Yeah, not on Thursday.
Yeah, that's so they can take time off of the next episode and just get into it.
Yeah.
Which I do appreciate that, because I don't think that they've done that too many times in the past where they've made an episode before a double eviction longer so that they can add more footage. I think that'll be helpful. Especially with the veto ceremony that's about to happen, or already did happen, will happen on Wednesday.
Because editors don't care about time's sake. They just want to give us content that they make on their own.
Okay, tell that to the editors who make 3 episodes a week on the show.
Yeah.
Well, really 2. But one of them is famously live. Okay. Where was I going with this? What are we going to next? Because I did the janky song. Was there anything else?
The HOH comp.
No, I'm not there yet. I have to get past Angela's vote because it was my favorite moment from the eviction. And
Please cast your vote to evict.
I vote to evict the beautiful, talented T-Core. Chuck, I miss you so bad. Thank you.
I don't know what to do with her anymore.
Would you be okay with your significant other saying that on live TV? In that way?
I don't see why not. Like, why would you have a problem with it?
That's a little, I don't know.
Explain yourself.
I feel like there were implications within that.
And? Is that shocking to you that Angela would do that?
No, I mean, I like it. Don't get me wrong. It's funny to me.
Yeah.
I'd just be curious. Like, I'm assuming that her husband definitely knows like how much she is and stuff and would expect it from her.
Yeah, I don't think Chuck is shocked by anything Angela does.
Like,
yeah. Oh, I was reading chats. That's what I was doing. Xandra said chemo annoys me in the fact that he hardly even tries. He even practically told MJ taking him off and putting Leah up might not be a good move for her. Yeah, yeah, we mentioned that. Chemo doesn't do much. Doesn't do much except hit the block, which he's very good at. And makes a good speech. That's probably his best move all year. He made a good speech, and they helped get Cedric out with T-Core. So,
And that was the high point for Mackenzie. That's right after that was.
Yep. Yep.
Shh. She's gonna bounce back. Okay.
Yeah, she'll bounce herself right into the jury house during the double eviction.
Not when she wins veto.
Oh, Cody also wanted to correct you, Zach. Janky is not coming back because he is dead. Janky is dead. And you even insinuating that he could come back is pretty irresponsible of you. And honestly, I should have been better. I should have corrected myself in the moment too. But it's also, it's Zach's fault if we're going to blame anybody. Okay. Trell, you were at the live veto that Dan evicted Shane. What? That's awesome.
Oh my god.
That's actually crazy. Yeah, very cool. That's an honor. Is that, no, you weren't.
Watching live on my TV.
Oh, you were there too, not being there. Cool, great,
No,
fun.
just-
Well, you weren't live watching on your TV because you forgot that it was in front of a live audience. So
Well, also, I didn't start watching Big Brother until BB16.
So you're just a liar, is what you're saying.
wow.
Incredible. Okay. Let's go back to we can talk about the HOH comp on Sunday. That's fine. I'm okay with that.
How many pieces did Mackenzie have?
30 something, 30? I think maybe 30 exactly. I know Angela had 20. Rubina,
It wouldn't have made a difference,
no.
but she locked it in. I thought it
Yes.
didn't matter.
She locked it in, and I guess I don't know what the rule is, but she did lock it in, and then like 2 seconds later, they fell over. Or maybe I'll go back and look at it. Maybe they were falling as she hit the button. I didn't see that in the moment, but maybe there was some rule where it had to be like you have to hit the button and it has to stay there for like 5 seconds or 10 seconds or something for it to even count. Like you can't just throw a bunch of shit on top of it and then go run and hit your button really quick, I guess was their thought process. And just say that it counted because you were, and then maybe technically if your arms were long enough, you could just like hold something on top of it and hit your button at the same time. So there wouldn't be like that much time between you doing those two things. Big Sissy Banana, kind of call it Big Sissy, confirms 30 pieces. But Angela had 25 and then she knocked it down to 20. So yeah, it wouldn't have made a difference. I don't know what Cam's strategy was exactly, if there was one. I saw they showed him at one point trying to use the ice cream cone piece as his first piece, like his base. And I just thought that's not
At the point, mind you.
at the point. Yeah,
of the
that
cone.
was yeah, you're right, Zach. I should have led with that. Like right side up ice cream cone, which famously does not balance on anything. He was just putting it down just to see maybe if something happened. Which, like, in the same thought process, T-Core, why'd she not hit that button that was just sitting there in the kitchen? Like, when she walked through after she was evicted, there was the button there. She didn't hit it. Why didn't she hit it? I would have been curious, at least. Oh, thank you, Zach. That is Cam with the ice cream cone, stacking it on top. Good luck focusing on your face after that. Nick, how many pieces do you think you could have stacked in this HOH competition?
I feel like I would have done well. I'm not gonna lie.
I was thinking this would be a Nick comp.
I think I do well. I feel like I'm used to juggling things at work. So I don't know. I feel like my job would make me better at this competition.
Okay. Zach, do you
I'm
think
gonna
you would
say
have beaten
25.
Nick?
There we go. That's my
So you could have been,
number.
you've done just as good as Angela, is what you're saying.
yeah.
Okay. Well, for a second, as good as Angela. Zach, do you think you could have gotten more than 25?
Well, as a construction site manager, I know exactly how to use mathematician and
Okay.
geometry to set these candy pieces into specific places to where I can get a strong base and it does not fall. That is my goal for this competition, is to win.
That's really good. I need to win so I can guarantee myself safety, and I'm just excited to play in that veto so I can pull myself off the block. Thank you for bringing up those two lines that I get tired of, Zach. I think you would have done fine, Zach. I think Nick probably would have beat you by a couple of pieces, though, to be honest.
I'm actually I'm pretty good at like random stuff like that. Like,
Random.
I don't know. Let's see.
Oh yeah, you just. I'm gonna go to the next thing. You just start stacking things. See how many you can get.
Okay.
Okay. Another clip that I probably have to show. Oh, we have to talk about Zingbot. We have to talk about what other thing? I guess the only other big thing yesterday was Janky's murder. So let's talk a little bit about Zingbot, if that's okay with everybody, because there was a lot of very interesting zings. And by that, there were about 2 interesting zings to me. And, you know, we had the normal roundup, y'all, of zings to go around. We have MJ's feet are gross. We have Cam is dumb. You know, we have Chemo is boring. We have Leah is dumb. And then out of nowhere, we just have Chelsea. You have an unreciprocated crush who is standing right next to you, and literally nobody has ever said that out loud until right now. And everyone just didn't know what to do. But at the same time, it served for a pretty great zing, and I'll play it real quick. And I would love to know y'all's thoughts on this, because it was like, I don't know if I've heard a zing quite like that for something in the game that has not really been spoken out loud.
I admire your face. Oh no. But unfortunately, you don't have a prayer with Cam.
Oh.
Awkward zing.
Nick, you love it when Zingbot does that, right?
No, I absolutely hate it. I will say I forgot who it was that tweeted about this, and maybe one of you guys know. But ever since whoever it was said that like Zingbot like comes on the speakers and like they all just like stand there and watch the robot dance, but nothing's actually coming out of
Yeah.
the robot's mouth.
Yeah.
I can't like unsee that. So now when they're doing that, I'm like, they're just dancing or like they're like reacting to this robot like doing his things, but nothing's actually
Did you
coming
think it
out.
was a real robot?
No, but like it doesn't, I don't know. It ruins the like fantasy of like whatever I thought it was in my head. So
Well,
I don't know.
I agree.
It's weird.
It is very strange to probably experience as a house guest too. It probably makes the zings way harder hitting because it's just hitting you from all the speakers.
He thought it was actually Kathy Griffith in the suit.
Yeah, even when it's not, even when she's not outside of the suit, it's still her in the suit. Zach, what did you think of the Chelsea zing of saying that she doesn't have a chance with Cam, especially immediately following this week where we have the whole Chelsea Cam caught situation, which played out on Thursday's episode, I believe, as well.
I mean, one thing Zingbot will say is the truth, and the truth is that
it sounds like a politician. Like it's not.
Hey, Zingbot did run for office.
Zingbot's not afraid to call out all the bureaucrats in Washington. I'll tell you that much. Okay.
Yeah, Zingbot did run for office. They even played a comp where he was getting electoral votes.
Zingbot's had quite a life, I'll say. Yeah. Always up to something new every single year. Probably the most productive of people in society, or I guess technology in society.
You remember what season he ran for office?
I have a feeling now that you brought it up what that season was going to be.
But I think it was good. There has to be some uncomfortable zines like that for for it to, I don't know, be at least somewhat funny. Like
Yeah.
I saw a clip of Zach's Zing. Well, it wasn't Zingbot, it was Kathy,
Yeah.
and I liked that one. So give me more of that. Angela's song was good.
Angela did have a good song.
That was
Angela
great.
also had a very intense moment that I was like, I really want to get your thoughts on this, but I'll play it first. Chelsea Zing though, insane. I've not heard silence like that after a Zing that I can really remember. And then it just took Leah like patting her on the shoulder and be like, "Oh man, oh no," like that. What a disaster to hear, knowing that like millions of people are gonna watch this episode.
Was that
It
the
was just
reason?
awkward because it's like that's something that she's only been talking about in the DR. So it's like
Yeah,
kind
Was
of
that, like-
weird. Like that's
w-
messy.
Was that the last straw for her, where she was like, "I'm getting Leah out this week"?
What would that have to do with Leah? Like, where is the connection?
she thought Leah did this. I bet it was.
Well,
it was
no,
really Leah
because-
in the suit, wasn't it?
Because Leah was flirting with Cam.
Okay.
Yeah. Leah has flirted with everybody this season. She has a crush on Quinn. How did we get here? I don't know.
It's called a Stockholm syndrome. Okay.
He's gone, and she's still saying it. So,
Still, they were in there for like 60 days.
okay. I'm not gonna play the full song here. I may just go to the middle. Oh wait, no, never mind. That's post Angela. Oh, I gotta go find Angela's Zing again. No, I'm not gonna play that first, even though I did love that moment post Angela Zing. Rabina's Zing was all about her, them evicting Tucker. It like wasn't even about her. It was just like her kissing Tucker caused his eviction. Was the joke? It wasn't even about Rabina.
That's all y'all could come up with.
Yeah,
Like,
which
Well,
makes
to
me
be
worried
fair,
about like
he
what
has
her comic is gonna be now. Like, what are you gonna do there?
Well, to be fair, she hasn't given them much to work with. So
I mean, they could have made
Well-
a short joke, like anything. I don't know. Like, it was just. It wasn't even about Rabina. It was that she was in a showmance. Like, wow.
I'm gonna jump into the obsessed with men half her age part of this. Of course.
There you
Okay.
go.
what if they
What-
said like, guess whose man came up as short as her height?
That would have played really well. Anyway, here's the song.
Crazy eyes. Her age, half her age. Obsessed with men, half her age. Crazy eyes. So creepy.
That hits. So then we end it with wants to prove she'll win the game.
Win the game, win the game.
Yikes.
Wants to prove she'll win the game. Never gonna happen.
Pretty insane to say to someone who's trying to win $750,000. My question though, if you're a house guest and Zingbot comes out there and says you have no chance to win this game, do you see Angela is less of a threat after that? If Zingbot's coming out there being like, you ain't got no votes, Angela, are you kidding me? What if Angela wins this game and we come back here and say maybe Zingbot's responsible?
I mean, I would take Zingbot's words with a grain of salt because the people who make the zings.
Would you?
Well, because the people that make the zings are usually people who don't watch the feeds. So
Yeah, I mean,
It's
it is
like-
all based. Well, there hasn't been much talk about Chelsea and Cam being a thing yet. We have that be the main zing after it follow. I mean, we did follow it up with like last week with the whole cot situation and Leah saying, I think Chelsea has a bit of a crush, but that's the only time that I can remember that happening leading up to Zingbot in the edited episodes of them mentioning
Barrett.
Chelsea and Cam.
perception is reality.
We say that like an hour from now, though.
I don't know, but it plays here. Plays well here. I will say though, Leah Zing, if if Chelsea didn't put in work, I feel like Leah Zing would have really helped her game. At least the perception within the house.
Yeah, in a way. I think there is ways a Zing could help you from the sense of either someone feels bad for you for like a second, but I don't know if it goes beyond like actual game, like changes
just
to
like
your own
calling
game
her-
and strategy.
Well, not strategy. I'm just saying, like, calling her dumb. I feel like that doesn't hurt her at all.
No, I would love if someone called me like Cam being called dumb, Leah being called dumb, MJ being told that like her feet are gross. Like those are all great. If that is your zing, then you're probably doing okay in the game. That means that you haven't had something too embarrassing happen to you yet. So that's a good thing. Even if like you're seen as boring by Zingbot, then that's fine. You can live with that. You can get past that. And honestly, you should be thankful that that is all Zingbot says to you, because I honestly, if Zingbot said something as crazy as he said to Chelsea and Angela to one of y'all, like if you were in that situation, how mortified would you be for the next day, week, thinking that like, oh, so this is how I am viewed. This is how I am viewed by the TV edit right now.
I would take a look at myself and realize, wow, maybe I am getting jealous and kind of stalking someone, and it's kind of one-sided.
I mean, I think she knows it's one-sided, right? Like,
I mean, I don't know. I don't know what Chelsea thinks
Well,
about
then
this.
move your cot.
Yeah, there was a lot
Move
that
it over
went on.
there. You moved it over here. Leave it somewhere.
That's
Quit
another
moving
thing.
your cot.
Chelsea has the best game of anyone in this house, but she also has the huge downside of this jealousy with Cam. And we talked about that last week, I know, but just, I mean, even further, the things that she's been saying to Cam of like, everyone in here has a perception that you treat women like dog shit. And he's like, I don't know where this is coming from. It's like, because it's not true. Like, it's not true at all. So I don't appreciate like those things from Chelsea, or making Cam feel guilty when he really hasn't done anything wrong. Besides, like, I can understand it from a perspective of Chelsea, who's like, you're my number one, and you keep spending all of your time with these other people that are in the house. Like, that could be offensive. But like, I feel like Cam has done a really good job of explaining himself. Like, okay, yes, I'm sorry about that, but no, he keeps reiterating, you are my number one. Like, this is not a thing. Like, I am not going to choose MJ. I'm not going to choose Leah over you. I think he's done a really good job with that. And I would also just like Chelsea to be chiller about it, because I want Chelsea to win this game at this point. She's not my winner pick. She's not my winner pick. But I would like Chelsea to win this game.
See, this is what I was talking about in our text message. What sense does it make to make Angela your winner pick, but you literally say she has no chance to win?
Until the curse is broken, man. I don't know what to do. I'm at a loss. I am at a loss.
well, it's kind of broken.
If this week is not over yet, I said Angela was my winner pick last week, and Angela is on the block this week. So until Leah is out that door on Thursday night, I'm not gonna feel good about this.
Like, they could literally all go to sleep, and God could send them an angel and be like, Chelsea, evict Angela.
I'm gonna send the banner over that house.
I'm sorry. What is this? What is this happening?
It's the angel's wings.
Oh, okay. Why would God have the angel's wings?
Well, it said an angel comes down.
Oh, okay. Messenger.
My God.
Gotcha.
Or Jerry
Okay.
can come in and just be like, Chelsea, you'll always be Judas in my book.
That's it. You bring back Jerry after 16 years, and he just says that and walks back out.
Yeah, then everyone will wake up.
I don't even think they
fine.
would.
I think they should just wake up tomorrow and Jerry just be there in the house, like he's been there the whole time.
No explanation.
just hanging out. 90-year-old
Low
Jerry.
honors.
Okay. All right. What do we want to go through next? We saw some Zing bot. Those are the only two Zings I really cared to play.
What?
Angela post Zing Forgot about that.
Ooh, don't they usually do Zingbot right before the veto?
Yeah, us talking about this made me like think for a second and be like, wait, did they already do the
Yeah,
veto?
because that's what I was
But
thinking. I was like, this is Sunday. Why are they showing us Zingbot?
Yeah,
it's a
pretty
90
weird.
minute episode, so that is actually really weird. I
Yeah,
was thinking the same thing though, because I was like, did we see the veto? Because normally they do that right before. It's like the entrance into the comp, essentially.
no, you're right. It is pretty strange to have an entire season that Zingbot could actually seamlessly fit in. I mean, seamlessly fit in so well that Ainsley had like a perfect like lead up to it before Zingbot came out. So to not have a competition where Zingbot just shows up again, like we've seen in the past, a bit strange. It also felt just very phoned in because like they're not going to see anything else Zingbot wise. It was just like Zingbot run out here into the hallway real quick and then just leave for the rest of the season. And I saw someone say that Zingbot's getting I think, Jake said, I think it's time we take a season or two off from Zingbot. The Zings have sucked recently. I argue that we have the same amount of good Zings every single year, which is about 1 or 2 out of the 6 or 7 that we really see on TV.
Yeah. What are y'all's favorite Zings?
I can't remember who brought it up in chat, but the Christine Cody one from 16 always is going to be the best one. I mean, are you kidding me? Telling Cody that he's made Christine's husband as an enemy is one of the wilder ones that I can remember.
That one is pretty wild.
I liked
I don't
Paul's
remember them,
Zing.
honestly.
Tell me Paul's Zing from 18 or 19.
18.
Okay.
Of course.
Hashtag friendship. Hashtag I forgot what else he said. He said a lot of fucking things. How about hashtag shut the fuck up?
Oh,
No, I
yeah.
do remember that.
I'm going to say this again. I don't remember like any Zings after the year has
don't
ended.
either.
So
I
to be asked
truly
my favorite
don't.
Zings of all time, I'm sorry, I don't have a laundry list of them from memory other than the 16 one, which has to be my favorite because it's the only one I can think of other than yesterday. But I do vaguely remember that Paul one, even though I've only seen that episode once and it was 8 years ago. But yeah, thank you, Zach. I always love a good Paul Zing in general, even aside from Zingbot.
I feel like there
yes,
was like a
Roxy,
good
we're
one
still
in
talking.
24 or something.
24. I mean, he called Taylor the Ice Queen, which was kind of off-brand. I don't know.
I'm sure we could all go back and look at our podcast from 24 or 25 and been like, the Zings weren't that good, or 23 and been like, the Zings weren't that good, or probably other seasons that we have covered and like the Zings weren't that good.
Well, 25 had Corey's song, which was good.
The America rendition. That's right.
Yeah.
I do kind of remember that one.
Okay, I remember that one too.
America, America. She likes boys under 5'8". I don't know.
That was exactly what Zingbot said.
Yep. Those were the lyrics.
You got 'em.
Pencil mustache. I remember that part.
You get it right, Nick.
Yeah, I do get it. Thanks, Roxy. I knew you would too.
Okay. Last night, did I have anything else that I wanted to mark? We got enough of Janky. We got Leah saying she views Chelsea as a threat, and then we have that. I feel like I made a mistake in the storage room. Yeah, quote of the century right now for Leah. I feel like I made a mistake. MJ will be saying that in approximately 4 days, I think, or 3 days. And with MJ, the mistakes are not only going to be that she could easily be the number one target, which I think she might be, and maybe this needs to lead into our next segment, which is who's going to target who in this, or whom. Is this a whom situation? I don't know. But who is going to be targeted? Whom is going to be targeted? I'm going to say both just because I know one of them is right. In the double eviction this Thursday. I think MJ also is in a way worse position because of that. Not only is she putting up 2 people on the block, one that she used the veto on a couple of weeks ago, to get into some good graces, and then also the person that was never going to target her in the first place. It's a whom situation. Thank you, Roxy. But now she leads into this, even with Cam and Chelsea, after she won that HOH, saying like, I think MJ is may need to go sometime soon. So even the people that are tricking her are also plotting her demise. She's got nobody. Because even Chemo and Rubina are like, maybe MJ and Chelsea. It's like, God, she could not have put herself in a more worse position going into a double eviction night where she could easily be one person on the block automatically, coming off of an HOH that she can't even compete in.
Whatever the minions, whatever Guru tells the minions, they're gonna go with what he says. So whatever Chelsea thinks, that's what everyone else is gonna think.
I guess in a way. Unfortunately, in a large way right now for everyone else that isn't just going with what Chelsea wants all the time. Great for Chelsea. So, okay. Should we go through the cast right now and just be like, if they were HOH, who are they going after? It's going to be a pretty short segment, but
so we should just go through the draft then.
The draft? Should we do our draft segment right now? Okay.
It has a cast on it.
True. Well, it's going to make me a little bit sad, but yeah, we could do the draft right now.
R.I.P. Janky and someone else. Maybe.
I know. Okay. Pulling it up.
Oh, this double too. I'm just saying. So
what's that?
I have points for this double, so I'm very excited to talk about it. I'm just saying.
You do have good reason to be excited.
Yeah.
Okay. Here's our draft, and as we can see, Nick, you still have 3 people left. Unfortunately, it looks like your first overall pick will be heading out of the door on Thursday night. As of right now, it is a long way to Thursday night, and things have changed consistently in this season. Maybe Leah using this moment of like, I didn't know this was going to happen to me. I don't know why this is happening. And maybe like with one more Angela going crazy, it could lead to something. I don't know. Roxy still having Mackenzie and Rubina on her squad. Zach, you still got Chemo and Angela. Congratulations. And I am left with nobody.
3 creepers and one.
Womp.
In the week that we lost one Janky, we also lost my entire draft team. Cedric, Matt, Joseph, and T-Core. They were all certainly were players in this game, but unfortunately, none could come out victorious. I had my hope in T-Core for the longest time. It looked like I was going to be okay having T-Core and Cedric, especially early on, and we saw how all of that went. Not the season for you to predict what's going to happen or to have any preconceived notion of what's going to happen in this game. So it was a good battle. I am not good at picking players, and I'm not good at picking winners, and that's the lesson we should all take from this. So with that, congratulations, Zach and Nick, for having players still in this game. And
Rocky said she just said womp womp at the same time as me, so.
Wow, jinx.
If only I was here to hear it, Roxy. Or if only you were here to hear it, whatever.
Victor said the MJ eye twitching should be in the next thumbnail for the pod. I could put it in this one, honestly. I only have Leah currently on this one, and mainly because my Adobe subscription ran out and I didn't have time to fix it. It's really embarrassing. If you look at the 9 on the thumbnail, it's a different font because I had to because I couldn't find it. I had to do some
notice it.
Had to do some voodoo magic. But Roxy, congratulate you on what? What did it?
She's still alive in the draft.
I feel like I did. Good for you. You have Mackenzie and Rubina, the strongest
I
team
will
on
say
earth.
one thing that we all agreed on is that what was it? All the last 5 picks were all pre-jurors.
That is true. All of our round 4 picks were out like real early too.
So yeah, I mean, I'm glad that we clocked them. I don't know, but also 3 of our 4 first picks are gone. And after this week, as of right now, if the vote were to take place, all of them would be gone, and we're left with a group of middle ground players, which may speak to their ability in this game. Probably not. But what were we talking about? The double eviction scenarios. Jose scenarios time.
Scenarios.
You won't let me podcast from the car, and you won't congratulate me. Rude. I'm not. You're right. You're right. I'm a monster. I am. This is authoritarianism on this podcast. You don't have to say, Roxy. I'm sorry. So if we're expecting Leah to go this week, and we can include Leah in a scenario, she were to stay, but say Leah's gone. We have a HOH where the only people eligible to win would be Cam, Chelsea, Rubina, Chemo, and Angela. It is down to that few. So let's start with Cam and Chelsea because they're going to do the same exact thing. As of right now, if I were to guess, we would see potentially like a Chemo and Rubina initial nom again, in my mind, with a very distant, in my mind right now, very distant Mackenzie backdoor. That would be... I think that would be really crazy for them to do, but I wouldn't count it out. I would keep an eye on the next 3 days. There are talks about Mackenzie going into this double. So I'm excited to see a little bit of that. And do y'all disagree? What do y'all see for Cam and Chelsea in this double?
I see pretty much that, but with an Angela Rena.
Okay.
Can I say like my theory on like what's gonna happen, because it's just like an overall. I think Angela's gonna be the double boot, because I feel like Angela is always on the block, and then she's always gonna go home, and then something happens because they have days and days and days and hours and hours and hours to talk. But when it's a double and they're all stressed, and like the one person that's gonna have no one backing them up is gonna be Angela, I think Angela's gonna end up on the block and we'll go home.
Yeah.
No matter who's HOH.
I think that's a very real possibility, mainly because so if she did go home, would my curse still continue if that were the case, if she still went home on Thursday?
Yes.
Okay. Just making sure we're clear on this.
It just had
unless she wins.
The curse
you change.
The curse was confused as well by Mackenzie's decision. So
yeah. We kind of broke the plane of existence with that one. To kind of reset some timelines there.
Mackenzie not only broke her game, but she broke the curse, or she made the curse reset.
Thanks, Mackenzie. I appreciate it. Zach, what do you see for Cam and Chelsea?
Cam and Chelsea, I see Chemo and Rubina, and then I see Mackenzie as the renom.
Okay.
I mean,
so you see Angela avoiding the block entirely if they are in power.
Maybe I don't see them.
That's crazy that you think that.
Because I can honestly see equally Chemo, Rubina, and Angela being on the block. In my mind, they're pretty interchangeable. And I think of Cam and Chelsea's mind, especially with Leah gone.
I think that in Chelsea's mind, at least, I think that she thinks she can beat more Angela in more comps than Mackenzie.
Yeah. I guess it depends on if their thought process is, okay, well, we have one more duo to get rid of in this game.
But Mackenzie just did everything Chelsea literally wanted.
Yeah.
And then after all that, Chelsea's going to be like, get on the block and get out. She's never going to.
Yeah, because she's sitting next to Cots with her man.
So maybe Chelsea targets Mackenzie before Cam.
Get that bitch out of the house.
Can we please use a different word?
Can you imagine if she wins HOH at the double and has that energy and it's like, well, since you guys want to lay on cots together, Cam and Mackenzie go on the block. That'd be
Mackenzie,
insane.
who do you think you are talking to my man behind my back?
Not even behind her back at all. Very, very directly in front of her. Yeah.
Cam doesn't talk to trifling hoes like you.
Chelsea, I hope Chelsea never says that. Yeah, very much in front of your face, Chelsea. Because why? Because you and Cam are not a thing. You're not a thing. So it's okay for him to do it in front of your face. Okay, so what Zach is saying is that Chelsea would target Mackenzie before Cam would target Mackenzie if he was empowered during the double eviction. Okay, let's move on. Mackenzie can't be in power, so we're not even going to include her in this. Rubina and Chemo, I think, also would go after Mackenzie. I think they would go after Mackenzie and then maybe Chelsea. I would hope Chelsea. I don't have a lot of hope that they would go after Chelsea, unfortunately.
No, they would go after Cam before Chelsea.
It's crazy to me that they would do that, but I mean, you're right. Because they called MJ the new Tucker at one point this week, which is so insane. That is their read on MJ of all people, and
New Tucker
yeah,
She likes biscuits.
and puzzles.
and they talked about hoping that Chelsea doesn't see, or hope that Chelsea sees that she can't go to the end with MJ, and I'm like, where's this coming from either of you? Like, I feel like just the view it should be, wow, Chelsea seems to be in a good spot. Let's go after Chelsea, or just split up Cam and Chelsea at that point. If you target Mackenzie out of everybody instead of splitting up Cam and Chelsea, I think that's such a wasted opportunity. Like, that is
I
a
agree.
duo where one could easily win any physical comp that is thrown your way for the rest of the season if he truly wants to, minus Mackenzie. But also Mackenzie isn't as close to Cam as Chelsea is, and Chelsea is also the biggest social threat. So just like guarantee that you can at least attempt to get one of them out, and if nothing else, view them as a trio, which they still are at this point, and go after all of them. And so you have 3 options. That's the easy decision. If they don't see it as that, I don't know what to do. If they even think about putting Angela on that block, I will scream. I will absolutely scream in my living room if I see them even think about putting Angela on the block as an option when you have literally the trio left. The trio of people that are going to probably comp out if you don't nominate them.
I
Powerful.
know Chelsea's gonna be like, Angel's the reason why T-Core went home. You have to do this for T-Core. You have to do this for T-Core.
They
T-Core
might.
would want this.
And they would listen. That's the thing. It's like they would be like, "Oh, okay," and they'd throw
Zach,
her right up.
you're scaring me because that's unfortunately a super real scenario that could happen on Thursday. Is that like Chemo or Rubina miraculously wins an HOH and then they completely fumble it by putting up like Angela and Mackenzie and don't even think about putting up Cam and Chelsea. Unfortunately, I could see that happening. Or them thinking, well, Mackenzie's like the leader of this group. She's the biggest comp threat. So she needs to go up on the block. No. See that Mackenzie just made a horrible move and probably just lost a jury vote and use that to bring her
Not just
forward
one.
just a little bit.
3.
3.
She lost 3.
Yeah. Will they see that? Probably not. And will we be disappointed if one of them gets into power? Probably. Yeah, because think about this. Let's say Chemo wins the HOH. We're like, hooray. Maybe in his mind he even says, I want to target Chelsea. But I need another pawn on the block. And so he like puts up Chelsea and Angela. And let's say Mackenzie wins the veto or Cam wins the veto if it's like the digging through the ball pit type of competition. He takes Chelsea off. You put up Mackenzie. What happens at that point? They keep Mackenzie, you think?
Yeah.
Because the votes at that point would just be Cam and Chelsea and Rubina.
I think they take out Mackenzie.
Interesting. So maybe
feel like
accidentally
that would be
it could work out.
I feel like that'd be so bad. I don't think Chelsea would do that. Like that's
Would take out
really
Mackenzie
bad.
right now?
Yeah, like that in a double right after Mackenzie literally just did everything she wanted.
You should
She
be.
could pin it on Cam.
How cold
and
would that
Rubina.
be though?
But she right, like that's what I mean. Chelsea hasn't been playing like cold like that.
Compared to everybody else,
Nick-
a little bit.
But Nick, she's half hood and half holy.
Enough.
She's half righteous, half
Ratchet.
unrighteous. Oh, ratchet. Yeah. These are her words verbatim.
Yeah, but this is the Hood
I-
Ratchet.
yeah.
Yes, Charles on the same
Um,
line. This is Hood Ratchet Chelsea now posting, but
I don't know.
But-
I feel like people think Mackenzie is in more danger than she actually is in the double. Is all I'm trying to say.
okay. No, that's fine
I
too.
do think it was a god awful move, and I don't think she should have done this. But I think the silver lining is that now Angela is still here, and Angela will probably be like the default
Yeah.
target in the double.
If you're
But
Cam and
you're-
Chelsea, though, like Mackenzie is the last person in this game who you really are super worried about. Like Angela has won competitions, but I don't
Yeah.
think Angela is the threat in a final two scenario. And I know we said Mackenzie just lost 3 jury votes. I still think if Mackenzie got to the final 2, she has a case more than Angela would in a lot of ways.
I agree.
Nope. Oh,
Remember,
let's-
Jag won last year, Zach, and then
Let's-
come back to me
no,
on
no,
who
no,
should
no, no,
deserve
no.
to win this game or not.
No. Let's. Who is she in the final 2 with? Right now,
We did this last week. It
her
was
and
exhausting.
Cam. Her and Cam. Say it's
Yeah.
her and Cam.
Sure.
Who votes for Mackenzie?
Uh,
Not Leah. Not Quinn. Not Angela.
I think Mackenzie would
Not
have more votes
T4.
against Cam than you think that she would.
Yeah.
Not T-Core.
I feel like the women would rather vote for Mackenzie over Cam.
That's
at
what
this
I'm
point.
thinking.
Because the whole theme this season has been like the women like low key working together because they
for the
want
first time
a girl
ever,
to
there could be a
win.
woman in the final 2.
Yeah,
But
a
literally,
woman, just one.
a
just
woman.
one,
Literally,
according to
she's
Rubina.
literally going against. She only nominated women this week. Wait,
That-
no,
that's just a
besides Timo.
smokescreen.
Forgot.
There's only 2 guys left in the house.
Yeah.
Literally,
uh,
I think since she did this, she has lost any chance of having Leah or Angela's vote.
Leah also just nominated 2 women last week.
But that's not the point. I still I stand by this. I
Yeah.
don't think Mackenzie's gonna win.
I
think
will-
that this. Go ahead.
Sorry, I was just gonna say to Nick's theme of like women being in the final 2, kind of being like a continuous conversation piece between the women in the house. There's also been, I think, more attempts, or at least more mainstay, that there was gonna be an all-female alliance, or just a women's alliance in general, pretty far into the game. Like even as like Brittany got evicted or as Lisa got evicted, I still feel like at
Brittany?
least once a
Who's
week.
Brittany?
Brittany.
You mean
what-
Brooklyn?
Brooklyn, yeah. Sorry, she's not important. Sure, and then what's even more embarrassing is that her name is right in front of me. Like it is sitting right there, Brittany. Yeah, Bratiti. Did you not remember? Did we not evict her this year? Is it not
came
still the
back,
same
yeah.
season?
Are you just like shocked by remembering this?
Yes. Oh yeah, that Brittany too. Sorry, we have too many Britneys to deal with in this game that I forgot that we didn't actually have one this year. I actually haven't watched the
names?
entire season, everyone. I just guessed that there was a Brittany, and I guess I was almost right. But even as Brooklyn was going out, or Lisa was going out, like we still, it felt like there was a,
Who's
Like-
Lisa?
stop it. I know Lisa's right there. I see your name. There was still like talks of like, there should be a women's alliance. There should still be a women's alliance, more than I feel like typically there is early on in the season. Like I feel like the first week or 2 weeks, maybe we have a moment like that. Maybe the third week. I can't remember when Bella ruined it in season 21 for everybody, or 21. Was it 21 that Bella
Yeah.
ruined the Black Widow alliance? Still hated that moment, that entire week. Awful, terrible,
Wait.
no good, very bad.
Black Widow Alliance. That's not 21.
That's not 21? Yes,
That's
it was.
18.
Because that was Bella and Jessica and who else was in the alliance? Nicole almost was, and then they decided to bully her out of it. I could have sworn it was called the Black Widow Alliance.
Maybe it was. Maybe they both had.
Did they try it 2 times and it failed both times? Yeah, it's Black
Nice.
Widows.
Okay.
Yeah, bad season. Big Sis Banana says I called Brooklyn Cruella. Okay, I'll use that from now on. Make it easier to remember. But yeah, so I all that to say, literally all of that to say. That was a while ago. That
Oh no,
there
the
could
one in
be a lot
18.
of a push for that, especially if it came down to a Mackenzie and Cam scenario where Cam could be seen easily as Chelsea's lapdog in a way, and as opposed to Mackenzie, who really fought from the first week. At least that's what she could probably sway people to think, or at least more of a story than Cam, who's been coasting pretty hardcore throughout this game.
Yeah.
Hey,
He's been thinking about
Big
hanging out with
brother-
all the dogs at the crib as soon as he gets out of this house for about a month now. And
Big
probably more
Brother
than that.
loves his bitter juries, and I just don't see Mackenzie winning after this week. I just don't see it.
It'll be hard. It would be hard to see Mackenzie win. It would be, especially after this week. But
I
at the
do
same
think it
time, I
sucks.
felt the same way about when Jag won. I was like, he did not make a move that
That
was
is
even
very
like even
true.
remotely in tune with what was going on in the game, or like thought about something ahead of time, or like I need to make all of these moves. He just won competition after competition after competition and was liked well enough that got him the votes in my mind. And
Well,
it
it's
was
just 'cause he
frustrating to
wasn't a
see that.
fan. It's just because he wasn't a fan of Andrew Tate, really.
I mean, the jurors did not know that, but it sure made me stomach it a little bit easier thinking about that in the moment. As frustrating as that entire night was. I'm just saying, like, I don't think it is easy to say that Mackenzie would lose a jury vote if she was up against Cam. If she was up against like,
Period.
okay,
against,
Nick,
like,
that does not
Chelsea.
mean I am a Mackenzie fan here.
No,
But
no. I agree. I'm just saying I agree with that because I feel like I keep arguing with people about the same thing, being like, well, Cam is gonna beat her, and like she has no chance of winning. Like Rabina will even beat her. And it's like, can we relax? Like, let's like take a second to think about things before we just like say the bullshit that we're thinking, because that doesn't make sense. I think this does dampen her chances of winning 100% because I feel like Leah was definitely somebody who would have definitely voted for her to win, but now she's definitely not. So I feel like, yeah, of course, this definitely ruins her chances of winning a little bit, but I still think she has a fighting chance. And like we sat here last season and said Jack will never win the game because he was evicted and this, that, whatever, but he won a bunch of comps and that's what the jury liked. Let me finish. If Mackenzie can win a bunch of comps and make it all the way to the end, maybe people will appreciate the fact that she has to literally fight her ass off the whole game
yeah,
and want to vote for her to win. I don't
Yeah,
know. I don't know what the jury wants. There's only 2 people in there too right now. So
mhm.
Well, let's look at a first juror standpoint. Quinn.
Quinn liked Mackenzie.
yeah.
But would he appreciate a physical game or
What Cam's won one competition.
I'm just speaking against anyone
The physical
else.
game is Mackenzie with her 6 comp
Yeah,
wins.
Mackenzie has actually won far more
So-
physical comps than Cam.
No,
has.
no. What I'm saying is, would Quinn prefer a physical game or a strategic game?
I would say strategic.
Yeah.
Definitely. I think is Cam's biggest key in a speech, which I mean, speeches in the final 2 scenario, I don't know how much that has swayed juries in the past. This season, I could feel like now that we've opened up the door of speeches swaying people for this season, maybe it could have more of an impact this year. But like Cam, I feel like his best case would be to counter this idea that he didn't do everything. Chelsea did everything for him. And so what's his best way of laying all that out? If that's his weakness, how does he use that as his strength?
He used Chelsea as a shield.
You could say that.
Because
But the thing is, he hasn't
anytime-
said that to anybody. So
Well, that's why you save it till the end.
But does
Is
he
it too
know
late,
that he did
though?
that?
Is it too late? I don't know.
I don't, maybe
Does
not.
Cam
Maybe,
know that he did that
here's-
though?
no.
Maybe no. Look,
Exactly.
this is what. How do you know? Cam doesn't even talk to the cams, so
Cam doesn't talk to Cam. Yeah,
Cam
you're
doesn't
right.
talk to the DR. Like,
here's how he should lay it out: is that amongst a season of chaos and fighting and bickering, I was just laying back. I let everyone else duke it out. Because anytime that I saw people insert themselves or try to cause waves, that caused them to go on the block. I used Chelsea as my shield because no matter what scenario I was in, I was the pawn. No matter what, Chelsea was going to go before me because she was the strategic threat. I used Chelsea through her, was able to work out strategically the layout and get close to people through that.
Okay.
Okay, but Cam is not gonna say any of that. Let's be real.
How do you know? We
Because
don't
I've
even
never
know.
heard Cam talk like that the whole season.
Literally, it's gonna be like Bowie Jane. He's gonna drop this whole facade. He's gonna come in the final two in a suit, and he's gonna be like, I'm a physical therapist. How will physical therapy help me in this game? It helped me relax everyone's tension around me. It helped. It helped me strengthen those muscles that we call in our brain that help keep
Mhm.
me here. The strongest brain in the muscle. That's what I use in this game. I didn't use these. I used this.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah, he might say all of that. You're so right.
No, here's gonna be his final speech.
Oh,
Shout out
okay.
to
So
my
this is
dogs
the
at
real
crib.
one.
Right. This is the third take now.
No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm just giving Mackenzie a hard time though. If it were me on the jury, if I were Leah, I'd be very pissed. I'd be very pissed.
Of course.
As she is right now.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I feel like she has a good enough a majority push for other people to see that this was a bad move.
Yeah.
To not want to vote for Mackenzie.
And I mean, she is inevitably going to go to the jury and say, like, tell her story to Quinn and T-Core, and immediately Quinn and T-Core are going to be like, oh, so Chelsea did that. And that's just going to build more of a resume. Like, they're going to give her that clarity behind it too. So I wonder how that will start to form more of a jury argument for Chelsea. Like, if Leah is coming in there full on just telling them exactly a move that Chelsea laid out that got her evicted, that convinced one of her best friends in the house to put her on the block, there's no way Quinn and T-Core don't automatically have Chelsea at the top of their minds, which I mean, they probably already did. But especially going forward is like, okay, well, it's Chelsea's game to lose. And so if you see it as Chelsea's game to lose, who do you view in that second place slot? Like, who, if Chelsea gets evicted, who takes the place as like it's their game to lose at this point? Because right now you could point to Mackenzie, but at the same time, it's like Mackenzie just made a big blunder of a move. So do you view that in place of Cam doing pretty much nothing, but just like doing it next to Chelsea as like his main move? And is that a good move that you would value someone winning over? Or if Angela gets to the final two, do you see her as more valuable than Cam because she actually had to go through a lot, nominated 6 times, won the first HOH, got into a fight, was one of the most chaotic players in the history of Big Brother, yet somehow, some way made it to the final two? Would you view that over Cam? What's the process there?
Stop standing Angela.
Stangela to the end. You literally have Angela as part of your... Stop it. You have her name in your...
No. Me and Nick can do it. You have a curse still.
Oh, right.
He's not saying she's winning though. So
He's literally building a case for her.
okay.
I'm building nothing that Angela didn't already build herself, so...
You're right. It's the house that Angela built. It's the house that
Mackenzie
Angela
broke the
built
timeline.
and sold herself.
If Angela did not win HOH first, I don't know. I don't want to know where it would be. Okay? I don't want to know what the season would have been.
Matt would
second?
still be in the game.
Probably.
Who was she competing against in the first HOH?
Who was she
in the final group?
It was
Wasn't it
Kenny and Leah, I believe.
Yeah. Yeah, it was the family.
The family.
Man. Remember whenever people were calling Kenny, Leah, and Angela mom, dad, and daughter?
Ah, well, you just reminded me the Lorraine's the alliance that just got named is gonna end this Thursday.
But
Yeah, I know we were talking about double eviction scenarios, but we ended up
Yeah.
getting on
Angela?
our end game soapbox again.
so y'all are forgetting this also.
Okay.
The thing that Angela is good at is puzzles. Usually the HOH comp is some type of puzzle during a double. It varies, of course.
I mean, unless it's
Like
the ball
last
pit.
year we literally had
Or
2 ball pits
questions.
Yeah.
for some reason. Yeah, we have questions too. But it's a puzzle. There's usually a puzzle element in HOH or veto.
Yeah, one of the two will be some sort of. I mean, I assume the HOH is just going to be question answer, like the majority of the time it is, and then veto will be. I would love if we go back to like the 14
Well,
type of puzzle
oh.
where it was just like them
Oh,
skating along the maze. Like I would love something like that as opposed to the ball pit,
Yes.
because
Well,
it's just like you can kind of figure it out.
Do you guys see what's happening on Twitter right now in terms of feeds? Because we know what the HOH comp is now, basically.
Oh, we
So,
do. Okay.
Yeah. They're getting Julie is giving them messages saying that Ainsley is taking over the world. So it's
They're really
obviously
not keeping it
gonna
a
be-
secret.
No. So it's obviously gonna be some type of like question thing.
Which Angela is good at too.
She has
I mean,
one
yeah,
question comp.
yeah. Good chances of Angela winning an
And,
HOH.
and even other question comps she did great in. She would only
Yeah.
miss like one and be one away.
I think
And I know Angela's gonna be
she can
fucking-
win.
She's gonna study her ass off.
I
And
think
if she
Angela.
wins, Cam and Chelsea and Mackenzie are going up on that block.
Yeah. Cam just avoiding all of these scenarios. Love it. Love it for him. But yeah, I think Chelsea and Mackenzie definitely. Chelsea for sure is hitting the block if Angela wins HOH. I don't see any way around that. And then there will be some sort of Mackenzie revenge plot, I am sure. Also because Angela typically loves to watch the people who use the veto on her go out the door. And Mackenzie would just be another person in that long line of people that have used the veto on her and walked out the door. So
Leah, another person using the veto and walking out the door.
yes. Well, I mean, I want to know the stat of the people that have used the veto in this game. How many of them are still in the game? Like the veto winners that have used the veto.
Let's look. Hold on. I have the wiki open.
Lisa's gone, Kenny's gone, Tucker's gone, Mackenzie's America's veto, so I don't know.
Yeah.
Tucker, Cam's still here. He used the veto. Did he use? No, wait.
Yeah.
Yeah, he used the veto on
Everyone's
himself.
used the veto.
Mm-hmm.
Leah,
Okay.
Leah's still here. Technically, Mackenzie's still here. Angela's still here, and Mackenzie, unfortunately.
Okay. So about half and half.
Yeah.
All right. Just wanted to make sure there wasn't another weird stat to follow up that. I will say is the most exciting scenario on Thursday, assuming Leah is evicted, which as of right now she would be. Angela winning that HOH comp and nominating Mackenzie and Chelsea outright.
Ooh, that'd be crazy.
Because Angela as an HOH is already entertaining enough. But doing it in a live scenario where she has to really quickly think about who to nominate and has to give speeches on the fly, I just think it would make for great television to see her go after Chelsea Mackenzie, and probably have some amazing words to go along with it in the moment, even if it wasn't her true feelings. She just, I feel like when Angela panics and she's on TV, she'll just keep saying things. Even if she doesn't truly like hate someone, she'll just keep saying like slightly insulting things to them.
Should be like shout out to the dogs of the crib.
Yes. That's my favorite scenario playing out Thursday night if we can get that. I mainly just don't want to see a Leah and Angela back to back elimination here. Even Chemo or Rubino going would be kind of boring to me, but at the same time it's like, well, they're not doing much for me.
I'd rather that. I would rather that, honestly. I don't want to see Leah and Mackenzie go out back to back. That's
No.
what I don't want.
No,
I need
I don't
something
want
else
that
to
either.
happen.
Yeah, Chemo and Rubina, I'm sorry. You've been giving me nothing for a long time.
Yeah.
And
One of y'all can go.
we need to make some room for some more evenly distributed chaos because you're not giving me enough chaos. You can go be 3 incredible friends in jury. How about that? You can go do
Exactly.
that. And that is fine. Okay. Any other scenarios that we want to talk about? Oh, I guess I want to ask you all this. Nick and Zach, give me your ideal double eviction prediction. And I'm going to actually note this for when we do our podcast next week to see who got it right. Everyone else can also in the chat give me your prediction for the HOH in the double eviction and HOH. No, I'm not going to do veto winner. That's too complicated. Your HOH and then just your 2 nominees and who's getting evicted. Initial nominees.
Do you want my fun scenario or do you want what I actually want to happen?
I want what you want to happen.
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
I would like a Chelsea HOH for Chemo and Rubina to be on the block and for one of them to go home. Either
Okay.
of the two.
So Chelsea, HOH, Chemo, and Rubina with pick one.
Chemo.
Okay, Chemo gone. I think that probably would be the vote there anyway. All right, Zach.
I'm gonna go with Angela wins HOH.
Come.
Nominates Mackenzie and Chelsea. Angela wins the veto.
I didn't ask for that.
Well, I'm gonna give it. Just kidding.
Of course.
No. And then you want final noms too?
No, just evicted. Did you listen?
He
I was
didn't,
kinda
clearly.
It was just you can just blur it out.
Okay.
Evicted is gonna be Mackenzie because
Okay.
all 3 of the other people are gonna want Chelsea to stay.
Yeah, probably. Okay, cool.
Do yours, Barrett, because then I want to say my fun one too, just because I think it's fun. But I want to hear.
All right.
What you
It's
think
unfortunately it'd be pretty identical to Zach, so I'm gonna think of a different one real quick just for
Always
our
copying
sake.
me.
I think Chemo is due. I think Chemo's gonna win HOH.
Ew. Of all times from you to win an HOH, you want it to be during the double.
I think that would be chaos.
Watch, this is going to be the one time that
Actually,
it
it
actually
wouldn't be.
happens.
It would be boring. But I'm gonna say it anyway. In 22, I predicted the triple eviction just based on what I thought would be the most boring outcome, and I was exactly right on all 3 evictees. So
to be fair, if there was any prediction that would be correct for anyone going into it, it would have been in 22.
yes, yeah. There was not a real shock in that season at any point. Okay, so we got. I'm gonna say Chemo wins HOH. I think Chemo would nominate MJ, and I want to say Chelsea. I really want to say that he would nominate Chelsea alongside MJ, but I'm not confident that he would. I'm gonna say Chemo makes a horrific decision and nominates MJ and Angela. And then
Whoa.
I think in the end, Angela's gonna go. We're gonna have a disaster of a night. And also, I say again, Angela is my winner pick from that I said last week. So my consistency is completely off track, but that's okay. You know. Well, we all have 3 different scenarios at least. Nick, you say Chemo's gonna go. Zach, you say Mackenzie. I say Angela. Let's see who's the most right by the end.
Can I say my fun scenario now that like it's not an actual scenario?
Yeah.
Going to find the secret veto and use it on herself at the live eviction.
Could be that.
And then Mackenzie nominates Rubina. I don't know.
Sure.
I like that.
Shout out to Alicia in chat, first of all.
Oh, hey,
Thank you,
Alicia.
queen.
Oh my gosh. Hi,
Welcome.
Alicia.
We love MJ Stan, even though she's a little messy this week. That's still my girl.
A little?
I don't care. Anyways, so this is the scenario that I feel like would make me like fly through my house. So if Angela wins HOH and she puts up Chelsea and Mackenzie, and then Mackenzie wins veto, and Chelsea gets evicted.
It would be Renom.
Cam.
And oh yeah. Mackenzie would want to keep Cam.
Yeah. I feel like that'd be crazy.
I mean, not Mackenzie, Chelsea.
It
want
would
to
be
keep Cam.
crazy.
Like that would like really shake the whole like end game up, in my opinion.
I think picking a crazy scenario and picking a predictably stupid scenario have about as equal chance of happening in this season going into a double. So I wouldn't count anything out, to be honest with you, which is nice. I do think these past couple of weeks, starting with Janky World, has really slowed down this game. And I say that there's no coincidence that there's no AI arena, and that also impacts that. But I don't want that to continue for the next 20 days. And I'm starting to see that end of season just like slowness to it.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't like it. I don't like it at all.
This season has flown by for me.
It has been a quick 70 days, but I feel like it's come to a halt in the past 10. In large part, minus like MJ making this move and them being outside and stuff. But even them outside was one of the more boring things I've watched. Even though they made them do 20,000 dance parties, they just looked exhausted and they looked like they didn't want to play that hard last week. And it weirdly inspired MJ to be a good player, but everybody else seemed like they were having a terrible time. And now this week, we're all having a terrible time watching MJ doing what she's doing. So I just want, I don't know, I want a little bit more excitement. This double is going to really impact a lot of that. Bless you.
Thank you. I still see a scenario where your curse still comes into play, and somehow people come to realization that they want to keep Leah, and Angela gets evicted. Leah wins HOH, nominates Chelsea and Mackenzie. Neither of them win the veto. Maybe Leah wins the veto. And then doesn't use it, and one of them goes home.
Is that your official pick? Do you want me to change that on your?
No, I'm just saying. With this cast, there is a possibility your curse still can continue.
Yeah,
it can. And it'll be all Barrett's fault when Angela
it will be.
Yeah.
Nick, I keep looking at your pick as with the Chelsea and Chemo and Robina, or Chelsea HOH and Chemo and Robina nominations, and I keep going back and forth as to whether thinking like your scenario would be more easy to digest as opposed to like Chemo winning and getting our hopes up and then ruining it, or Robina winning and getting our hopes up and then ruining it. I don't know. What would you rather prefer? Like watching them just live make a completely huge mistake? Or would you rather watch just like a Chelsea wins HOH and you're like, okay, well, at least I don't have to stress about this?
Yeah, I feel like if, like, that's the thing. If Chelsea wins, I don't have to stress because I know my girl will be good. But I feel like it'd be more fun to watch them kind of like fuck up their whole thing on live TV.
It would be nice.
Would it though?
Yes, it would be, because they've done nothing all damn season.
So under the moment of like highest of pressure, to see them do it one more time would be quite fun. But then you think like, do you want Chemo and Robina in like a final five? Do you want them to take up like 2 slots in that final 5?
No, that's the thing.
We didn't even want them in the final 10.
That's true. It's the fact that like one of them is potentially getting brought. I could see them one of them getting brought to the end if they could slip into the final 5 together, and that's what's like don't want that, because then if the other one, so like let's say like Rabina gets like dragged to the end, right? And she's already going to have 2 jury votes from Chemo and T-Core.
Yeah.
Does Rabina really deserve 2 jury votes in a 7-person jury?
No.
That's a little scary.
Rubina has not. I
Did
don't think
Liz-
Rubina has played for herself one time in 70 days, and it's kind of
Did
Right.
astounding.
Did Liz deserve 2 jury votes in her
Liz should have
season?
won, so don't even get me started on that.
She didn't know.
Justice for Steve.
We're not
having
talking
the
about
Steve
season
slander.
17, because I will. That's a whole can of worms for me. So
If Chelsea makes it to the end with Rubina, it'd be that season all over again. No, let's go with Rubina and Cam. What if Cam gets out Chelsea?
I don't see
Oh.
any. I honestly don't see any world that happens.
that's disgusting, and I don't want to think about
What if we
that.
have
Like,
a Chemo and Rubina final 2?
that's my nightmare. Like, that is literally my nightmare right now. I'd rather Cam win over them. Like,
who would win?
And Chemo and Rubina.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Don't even. Okay, I feel like we did this with Jag and Matt last year, where we were like, I don't even want to think about that, and then it actually ended up happening. We're like, no.
We said that was our nightmare situation last season.
That was
I'm
okay.
getting a little nervous saying that, but
Also, thank you so much, Jen. Glad. What? Good morning. We're still talking. But also, thank you so much. I'm sorry about your pain today. I hope that we haven't made it worse in any way. If we have, understandable. I'll blame it on Zach. But
We'll just blame it on
hope you
Roxy
feel
not
better
being
soon.
here.
Yes, that works.
that also works.
Because Chemo would have Mackenzie's vote.
So Chemo would
I
have.
hate this.
Did we do the Chemo Rabina scenario last week? Are we just repeating
We did
ourselves?
I
Okay.
don't
We did
think
not.
did. Yeah, which is
Um,
so interesting because I feel like we didn't even like fathom the thought of them going into final 2 together.
Okay. Well, let's do it then. So we got Quinn. Who's Quinn voting for between Chemo and Rubina?
Chemo?
Maybe. Who knows? Who's anyone's
Yeah,
guess?
no, Chemo because of the Visionaries.
Chemo because of the Visionaries. Okay, I can deal with
Okay,
that. So
I
does that
can-
mean
yeah.
T-Core does the same thing?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think T-Core votes for Chemo over Rabina.
Yeah.
Chemo is also the only vote to keep T-Core last week. She's going to know that meant, there was more to their relationship than his relationship with Rubina. Just from the beginning of the game, no way T-Core doesn't vote Chemo. Okay,
Yeah.
cool. So, Chemo has 2 votes at this point. A good start. Say Leah goes out this week. Who is Leah going to vote for between Chemo and Rubina?
Rubina?
Nina?
You guys keep saying Quinn is going to follow Leah, and if
Oh,
Leah
yeah, that
votes
is
Rubina,
true.
what do you?
I never said that. Let me just say.
You
That is
both-
this
yeah.
one
both of
down
you.
here.
Yeah, that is true. I think she would vote for Chemo. I think Quinn will whisper some sweet nothings.
Oh my
And-
god.
You know how the jury house is.
Yeah.
Look at Nick and Kat.
I was like, me and Kat for a second.
Look at you.
Because
Okay.
I in the
You.
jury house with Kat. Like,
All right, wait, Nick, are you not the BB21 Nick? I thought could have
You're both from
sworn-
Jersey-ish area.
That was the whole reason I had you on the podcast to begin with, because I thought you
I
were a
guess the
former.
cover's been blown.
You're not a child therapist.
I am a therapist, but
miraculously a child therapist. That was crazy. Wait, what are we doing again? We're Chemo and Rubina. We're saying Leah is going to
Quinn.
vote for Rubina. Is that what we're saying? Is that what we're
No.
saying?
Now that you mentioned that, then yeah, Leah would vote for Chemo.
I still think she votes for Rubina.
Does she have a good relationship with Rubina though?
No, but I think Leah really wants a woman to win.
Yeah, I can see
Leah's
that.
been
Trump
one of
thing.
those people that was like really like for that. And I don't think Rubina did anything wrong to Leah. So
Can I also say that T-Core not voting for Chemo wouldn't surprise me because of how consistently T-Core acted like Chemo was not that important to her?
Would she put a woman winning over
Ooh, I don't
Chemo?
know.
I don't know. I could just see T-Core voting for Rubina and be like, I wouldn't be shocked by that as well. But their
Same,
relationship from the beginning of the
honestly.
game should lend herself to vote for Chemo. Like,
Yes.
I just wanted to say that still could happen. She did wipe bird poop on the guy. So, all right. So let's just say Leah votes for Rubina. We can more confidently say 2 votes for Chemo, 1 vote for Rubina right now. Let's go to Cam. Who would Cam vote for between Chemo and Rubina?
Chemo?
Okay, I have no basis for
I have
why
literally
Cam and
no
Chelsea would vote for
clue.
either Chemo or Rubina at this point.
Has Cam talked to either of them?
I
Right?
don't
Like,
think
I feel like I've never seen them have a conversation.
it's very rare. Yeah.
like
I wonder if he probably wonders if he's like the only dude in the house or something.
Maybe so. Yeah. It's kind of like when Corey and Felicia had a conversation. I think it was Corey and Felicia last year, where like 2 months into the game, and Felicia said, I haven't talked to you once about your strategy in this game. And that sat with me like pretty hard. Like, how do you spend 2 months? And she was genuine. She was like, this is the first time we have ever talked game. And like, how does that happen? How do you sit there for that long and not talk game with someone at that point? But that could be Cam and Chemo's relationship also, or lack of, unless someone can remember a huge moment of bonding between them that I'm forgetting.
Didn't he open up to them about his brother?
I believe so.
Or was that a group?
I think that was, it was a group conversation, but it can still count for sure. If it's part of Chemo's story and if that reflects on how he's acting in the game, and those things always have an impact for sure. But I don't think that was just like a Cam as an audience member type of thing. But if Cam's voting,
where does Chelsea vote?
Yeah,
I think that determines where Cam. I think that's where Cam votes.
I'm in the same boat. I am in the same boat with Chelsea voting for Chemo or Rubina as I am with Cam, which is crazy that this scenario that we don't want to happen is this hard to actually figure out who's going to win. Nick, help me. Where's Chelsea going?
Rubina? I have no idea. That's sad. Like, I don't know how they even differentiate between the two of them though either.
Mm-mm.
Like, that's where I'm like,
they are intertwined.
They've both won one AI comp. It's not like one's more comps than the other. It's not like I literally don't know what they base their votes on at that point.
I think Chelsea would vote if either one of them, if they were the HOH that got her out.
Maybe so. I just don't know like what Chemo is going to say strategically got him to this point that is not going to directly include T-Core.
Well, we literally saw his speech moved mountains. It moved Mackenzie. His speech will move mountains again.
Yeah, he's good at speaking. We know that much. That might be Chemo's best move in the game, is saving himself with a speech at the last second. So maybe that could also get him $750,000. I don't know. This is way too hard. I think Angela would vote Chemo if that helps anything. If that makes it slightly easier.
Yeah, because she'd feel bad that she voted him.
She still feels bad that she voted him out twice when nobody else did, pretty much. So that gives Chemo 3 votes.
She was thinking about voting him out this time, but she got reminded that she was on the block.
That is so true. Yeah. And after the veto was used, she was like, I can't see myself saying Leah's name in that booth. And MJ was like, well, you're not voting. You're also on the block. And then Angela just went, I'm losing my mind. It was great. But so if Chemo has 3 votes at this point, I'm gonna lean to say that Chemo beats Rubina in a final 2 scenario. Hard to say that, but
what if the jury ends up deadlocked and then it's a mistrial and they have to restart the season?
they all have to pick a key, Zach.
What if they don't want to? What if they're just standing there?
They just collectively refuse to vote on either of them.
We want to restart the season.
The
This
reset
is our
button.
nightmares. Yeah.
Yeah, it would be a very bad end of the season, and I think that's why I'm so hopeful that Chelsea can win. Just so there's like a good stamp on the season of like, okay, it was chaotic, it was fun, and the best player strategically came out on top. And I'm not.
Best player left.
Yeah, that. I don't know. Honestly, she's been pretty consistently a good player all year. So I would say all around this year she's been the best. So yeah, with that, I think that she deserves to win, and I don't think she'll have any problem winning if she makes it to final 2, obviously. But yeah, Chemo could win over Rubina. Chemo could not win over anyone else. Rubina could win over nobody in my mind.
No,
Not even Cam.
No, I think Cam
But
could
a
still
woman's gonna win.
win.
I don't know.
Then Angela can win.
What?
I think Angela can win.
If Chelsea's not going to win, let Angela win. I honestly, like, there's no better second option to me other than Angela winning this game if Chelsea is not going to win.
There's no better first option for me.
With who? With Leah?
Oh yeah.
I think also the best arguments against each other would be Chelsea and Angela. I think Chelsea would be fun to watch her lay out her game from the beginning, and I think Angela would be equally as entertaining to see how she has viewed her game for 90 plus days. Because they're both going to speak really well about it. I know they will. And I think their 2 games have been so polar opposite that it would be interesting to see how the jury decides who truly deserves the win, because there's 2 different perspectives that you can take. And I think each of those perspectives would lead to a different vote between Chelsea and Angela.
Do you think that Quinn would vote for Angela?
I could see it. Obviously there's 20 days left in this game. Angela has a lot of work to do. And if she gets to a final 2 scenario, she's got to have done something hugely important to get herself there.
Win the double and get Chelsea or McKenzie out of that.
If Angela won the double HOH and got McKenzie out and then found her way to a final 2, she'd have a way more interesting case. Because I think when you think about her second HOH, it didn't even exist because Quinn took it over. So I think she needs that extra week of power, or that extra target that she got out of the house to be like, I targeted Matt and I got him out. I got a huge jock out. And then maybe she wins power again and she says, I got another huge comp threat out in McKenzie. Or if she got Chelsea out somehow, be like, I got the biggest social threat in this game out of the house.
She won HOH when she needed to, because if she didn't win, she was going to go home.
That's another thing. And Angela's got 9 lives in this game, and the fact that she's been able to stay in. She just has to say that her chaos was a strategy, and she has to make it seem like she was able to emotionally use everybody to her advantage, specifically in veto scenarios, getting off the block 3 times when she was on it, and just never taking a moment to relax in this game, really, whether she was clocking something or not clocking something at all. Also, just her spiraling weirdly worked for her at times. Her saying, Leah and Quinn are actually a duo, I think, and they're hanging out with everyone in the backyard, and that inevitably led to Quinn getting out of the house. And even though none of it was true, but she thought it was true, and it worked out. It was Angela's been blind, throwing darts at a wall while spinning around. She's still spinning from the first Ainsley competition that she was in. That's just been her energy the entire game.
Well, there was some truth to it. They weren't necessarily a duo, but they were working together.
Yes, they were working together, but the points that she was making about them sneaking off to go hang out with everyone in the backyard and have secret alliance meetings that were plotting the demise of everyone else was not true. That's not what was happening.
She tells like a truth sandwich.
Yeah.
She puts a lie and then the truth as the meat and then a lie.
Yeah. In a way. I mean, even when she said that T-Core and Cam and Chelsea and Cedric in the backyard that second week in the game and saying, you know, I think those four are working together and being off base about a lot of the assumptions that she was making there. She still was weirdly on point about them talking about working together. They were talking about working together back there. She just came at it in a horrible direction. So she does have these moments, especially just listening into conversations and begging to be in alliances. There's a lot of things that she has done in the energy that she brings to the game that you don't see in a lot of players. And I weirdly think that would sit well with Jury, especially if she's up against someone that's not Chelsea. But again, we are exhausting these points. I hope this is somewhat entertaining to just go through these things, though, because this is a weird cast to have in the final 7 of the game, or final 8, final 6 by Thursday night. Okay, are we exhausted? No, we've discussed Leah for like 2 hours. You had to check in earlier. Leah's a god.
Well, let's talk about it one more time. Leah is going out maybe 7th. You know who else went out 7th?
Oh my God, we're
came
not
back?
doing this. We're not doing this.
And won the next season she got invited back to? Nicole Franzel.
Yeah.
I don't think any person who likes Leah wants you to compare her to Nicole Franzel. So please stop.
But let's discuss Leah. Why don't we?
Yeah. Well, okay.
I take it, Noda, you're a Leah fan. I don't know. I may be grasping at straws here, but like, are you? I think you might be a Leah fan out there.
I will say though, I picked a good winner pick at least. Everyone thought it was crazy. At least she made it pretty far.
Who picked her first for the draft?
You got the first pick by a wheel draw.
So why would I call you crazy if I picked her as well?
I'm not talking to you. I didn't say everyone.
You did say everyone. That's word for word what you just said.
Oh, okay. People called me crazy for picking Leah as my winner pick. Well, even you doubted her because you were like, "Ooh, I don't know about that. Like, she's my girl. Don't get me wrong, but
she wasn't doing anything in like the first week. Let's be real.
Hey, there's still time. You know who else was on the block before?
The whole house.
Jordan.
Where are the dots that are being connected right
now? The fact that you would make a Jordan connection to Leah. Are we still talking about Leah?
Yes.
And not Rubina, who is in the showmance with America's favorite player and might make it to the end. I don't know.
And also hasn't done anything. But...
Also hasn't really done much except be likable. So there's that. I feel like you could have made that comparison. Just saying.
I haven't. No.
Okay.
If she goes, I will miss her dearly. She is great. She is prepared for those the days comp.
Okay.
But
she's good with the days. That's your belief in her.
Nicole from the past, she didn't make it to the trade. What?
It's okay. Zach, are you ready to preview the next week for us?
Oh yeah, I have to do that. Yeah.
It's a big week is really why I'm excited for you to do this.
Okay.
And I do have the long song for you. I do have to pull it up again because I keep forgetting to download it as an audio file.
We forgot about there's an Ainsley twist.
Yeah, I'm assuming that's just the double eviction that they're building up to.
Oh, okay.
Because it's all about like, what does Ainsley have up her simulated sleeve this week? It's a double eviction, and she'll do a monologue about why the two of them need to go and all of that.
The comp is based off of questions that they're going to get off this Ainsley.
Yeah,
right now.
all of that.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah, big week coming up, everybody. And Zach's gonna tell us what we should look out for. And yeah. So Zach, take it away.
Find out Wednesday who wins the power of veto in a special 90-minute episode jam-packed with all exciting features. And then on Thursday, we're back with a double eviction that's brought to you by Ainsley Red Edition. Find out who's gonna go home. Not one, but 2 house guests will be joining the jury. And then on Sunday, we are back again for another week with the HOH. Find out who shakes up the game and gets power after a wild double eviction, baby. It's all happening live Thursday, and we'll be back Monday to cover it all for you again on Our Reality.
Wow. Zach, you timed that really well with that like hit at the end. That was really good. I'm excited for this week now. I don't know if everyone else is before like after hearing Zach hype that up, but I'm ready to run into battle. So thank you, Zach. It is going to be a great week. We have a lot of scenarios as we've been discussing for probably the past 45 minutes plus, and an exciting future of this season, which again is among the best in a lot of recent years. So, yeah, we should be thankful, grateful with an 8, if I dare to say.
Oh no.
I was wondering if anyone got that.
That was triggering.
These past few episodes, people have been using the word grateful,
Yeah.
and I have not liked it.
T-Core did use it in her eviction interview a couple of times, maybe. But yeah, I don't like that. Yeah, that word does just bring me back to
Wait.
BB21.
Did y'all see Mike Bloom's I think it's Mike Bloom's exit interview with T-Core?
No.
She literally it's the quick thoughts of whenever I say a house guest, like a quick word, what comes to mind or something.
Yeah.
And then it says like Angela, and she goes,
Is this like in real time she did this? Remember, we're on an audio medium, Zach.
yes. No, literally. That's what she did.
That's crazy. In a rapid fire? Okay.
Wow.
That's about the pause she took when Leah told her she was going on the block too. So
I think she's coming after the 3.
I have a feeling that she might be coming after us. And I didn't realize that until she put you 2 on the block, but now I'm getting pretty suspicious, y'all. Okay. I'm done with this episode. I'm gonna be honest. I think it's time to end the podcast once and for all. Forever. This is the last one, everybody. It's been a great run. Really fun time. Thank you all. Okay. Is this gonna play? Please. There we go. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us for yet another podcast about Big Brother 26. If you are new to this channel, please like this video. Please subscribe. That helps us out a ton. If you want to join our Discord, that link is in the description below as well. If you want to talk more Big Brother 26, aside from hopping in the chat on these podcasts, you can also follow any of us on Twitter. I am at Spicy Barrett. Nick is at the Nick City, and Zach is at the Zach Perez. Those links are also in the description below. Check us out on Apple Podcasts. Check us out on Spotify. All that fun stuff. We will be back again next week to talk about the double eviction and the immediate aftermath and whoever wins HOH afterwards, and maybe a new twist, anything else weird that's happening in between. We'll cover it all again. So join us again next Monday and we'll run it back and probably have like 30 to 45 minutes more of in-game scenarios that we will never come to a conclusion on as to how these people will decide to vote on finale night, because it is that kind of season. So yeah, Nick, anything else you want to add? I feel like I never come to you during Islands in the Stream. I just like, anything else you want to say?
Good luck, Mackenzie. It's been lovely.
Oh. All right. Well, thank you all for showing up again. And after the fact, if you were here after the fact, we'll see you next week. Zach, say the thing that you always say.
Love one another. Stay with us.
Good night, everyone. Especially you, Nota Spider. That's been quite a time with you.
Perception is reality. Our reality.
Oh, yeah. You do say that. I nearly forgot. Bye.